All right, down here at the bottom position, we have a player on the team TSL. He's the red Terran. The Terran who many have said will win all of the turns, but hasn't yet. He is...
TSL Clide.
Fans in the audience yell, Clide fighting! I heard them over there. They probably heard me. They're like embarrassed now. All right, Leenock up here. Oh, I said his name already. I'm going to pretend like I didn't. Our Zerg player, he is...
Leenock for you.
Oops! It wouldn't be a Wolf cast without at least one botched intro per game. And that's 50% for those of you guys who don't know. In StarCraft 2, got 2. That was a sign there. I actually don't know the Korean names of either of those. That's Gumiho, I've been told in my ear. So, Gumiho Foyu here to cheer on Leenock. Ah, because they look similar. Okay. Okay. That's what my producers are telling me. Sometimes I don't know. I've got these. Oh, Clide! That's how you have to say Clide if you're a Clide fan. Awesome sign there. One of our, possibly a foreign fan, some others in the back. So many people here in the audience today. Now, here comes Leenock in for a scout. Denied, but he does see the 2 barracks, which is all he really wanted to see. It's like, that's all I wanted to know. I'm going to harass you a little bit, but my work here is done. He did hatch versus doing a very similar opening to what he did last game. And drone almost takes out an SCV, does escape. Drone, of course, gets the better into the stick there because the SCV is not going to get his health back automatically. That drone's like, you almost killed me, but since I lived, I'm going to go home, tell my friends about what I saw here today. I'm going to keep mining. I'm one drone. That when you harass me with those Marines, I have full hit points left. So there's the gas going up a little bit faster for Leenock this time. I think he feels like he can squeeze it out, given that his opponent is making his barracks on the high ground, you know, the top of his ramp, rather than making them a little bit closer. Sometimes when you get the gas, it can be quite risky. You lose some of your mining. Your drones are kind of... Just, you know, they're... I don't know what to say about those drones. They're busy mining gas. They're not mining minerals. Look at that. Leenock, even... That drone that came home, he got some gold minerals. He is a hard worker. Goes out in the face of the Terran. It's aggressive. Pokes at some SCVs. Pokes at a barracks. Comes home with the gold minerals. That guy's a champ. More drones should learn to be like him. Now, this SCV did see everything, though. And this is actually quite the champ SCV himself. Trying to get away. Now, Leenock... He's not quite have enough to get Zergly speed just yet, but he's about to. He's trying to find out how many Marines are you sending. Are you sending SCVs? Do I need to pull my drones out of the gas already? Look at that SCV doing a great job of scouting. That's a Clide SCV. I would say Clide himself was inside that SCV, but he is going to be taken out. Clide not going to be taken out so easily, though. And look at this. This is what you do. This is what Leenock does, man. He keeps his Zerglings out on the map. He sees everything. He's the all-seeing eye. Got to be a little bit more careful with those Zerglings there. Look at that. He doesn't even lose a Zergling to those Marines. He's got some Zerglings back at home just in case. That's how you do it, guys. Pick off Marines where you can. See everything that's going on. Be observant. Leenock, the scouting Zerg. His Zerglings are everywhere. At the Zelnaga Watchtower. At his main, at the other Zelnaga Watchtower, at your opponent's main. He's everywhere, man. He sees everything. Now, when Zergling speed finishes, if Clide is still out on the map with those Marines, Leenock, I guarantee he's going to find them, he's going to surround them, and they're going to die. All of them. Not one Marine will be left standing if Leenock finds those Marines. Now, Clide has made his command center. He's gotten his double gases up. That's what you do when you do 2 barracks into an expansion. You get your gases ASAP. You start your factory so you can expand if your opponent gets a lot of banelings, or if he gets a roach warren up, you want to have those tanks out to defend. Got to be careful. Leenock, again, maybe made a few too many Zerglings. I think he wanted to catch Clide. He wanted to, you know, if you make that many Zerglings, if your opponent gets aggressive and gets a little too aggressive, you have Zergling speed, you're like, oh, I insta-win because I trapped all your Marines. I have enough Zerglings to kill everything. I've got speed. But sometimes you make so many Zerglings and then you can't really do anything with them, as you see now. So that's a lot of drones lost in opportunity cost. And for those of you guys who don't know a lot about economics, opportunity cost is basically something that you lose and its implicitness. You lose it implicitly because it's something that you could have had but did not have. And look at that! Marine trying to get in here. But nothing escapes Leenock's eyes. He sees all. Does catch that Marine. Now, the one plus side of having all these Zerglings outside of Clide's base is it makes it very difficult. Or, you know, if you make a Baneling nest, like we saw Leenock do. Last game I completely forgot to mention that. I saw that he was making it, but I was like, yeah, it's Leenock, he does that, he wants to be safe, but actually, he's like, I made a ton of Zerglings, and you're making mostly Marines. I'm going to Baneling attack you, and here he goes now. He's actually probably going to go for the Tech Lab. Smartly, he does. Now he's going to have to be very careful. There is a Siege Tank out. He's going to bust down that depot anyways. There's so many Zerglings in here, not actually using those Banelings the best he could, though. The bunker will fall, but it looks like Clide will hold this. In fact, he should be able to keep that barracks alive as well, and that was a huge investment by Leenock. Didn't quite pay off. He did kill a Tech Lab, significantly damaged this barracks, but he didn't kill any Marines, he didn't kill any SCVs. But I like his choice of doing that, and he made 12 drones back at home after the attack failed. He just was like, all right, you can't really attack me safely, you're not going to feel comfortable doing that, I'm just going to make 12 drones. Clyde's siege mode is done, he hasn't even moved his command center down to the natural, so that aggression is a smart move, but I think he could have done it, could have executed it a little bit better. I'm like the most critical caster ever. Like, oh, everything that anyone does, he could have done it better. It's true, could have done it better. Can't wait until StarCraft 2 gets to the level where everyone does everything perfect. I'm telling you guys, in a year or maybe even 2 years, I'm going to look back at these games and go, wow, these guys were bad. And that's not to say anything bad about Leenock and Clide, because they're the best players there are, but even Leenock and Clide themselves in a year, they're going to look back at their own play and they're going to be like, wow, look how good I am now. I can't believe I was like that once. There's just so much more room to grow for StarCraft 2. I know a lot of people out there, a lot of those Brood War fans, I know you Brood War fans are watching. You're probably in like the Team Liquid Brood War chat watching this. You're not even in the regular Team Liquid chat because like, there's too many StarCraft 2 fans. I know you Brood War fans are out there, and you're like, well, StarCraft 2 is a lot easier. We haven't seen it really reach its potential. And was that an extra Baneling nest? Players have been known to do that. But anyway, as I was saying, as I was trying to get out, trying to squeeze out, there's so much to talk about. StarCraft 2 is evolving, it's changing, and I know those Brood War fans out there will one day be excited to see StarCraft 2 when it reaches its fullest potential. We have to admit, though, it has a long way to go, and that's exciting, though. And it doesn't mean that these games we're watching right now are lame by any means, because these are the best players in the world anyways. But imagine how good they will be in the future. That's my little rant for you guys today. Probably just made a lot of anti-fans. All right, so here comes a little attack by Clide. He wanted to see if there was a third hatchery, but Leenock, he's like, okay, you know, Clyde's at this position where he's got a lot of units. I lost a lot of units, so I've got to sit back and defend, because if I try to make a third base right now, it's not going to be safe. Probably going to take out some of these creep tumors, but Leenock is everywhere with his Zerglings, and actually lifting those Marines may have been a bad choice by Clide. He might have been able to hold with those Marines because they're back against the wall, but as it stands, he saved some of the Marines, sacrificed many, though. Nice move landing on the high ground. With no ranged units, those Marines will do so much damage. I was actually playing, I don't know if you guys, some of you guys played the campaign. I've been playing through the campaign again here recently because Heartless Swarms got me all excited. There's a little ledge like that in one of the missions where you try to destroy the science. Like, it's like Dr. Narude's facilities, Kerrigan's trying to find him. I did like move all my units into big giant drops. Hold that thought! Because here comes some Zerglings. I'll get back to that story later. It's an important story. It's not that important. Just talking to you guys about so many things as Clide moves forward with his Marines. Now, Leenock is going to try to flank here with his Zergling. It's a smart move. He's going to try to catch those siege tanks. Actually, no, he's not even going to flank. He's actually just going to go all the way for the counterattack. A little bit indecisive. That bunker doing a lot of damage to those Zerglings. Clide actually should be able to hold it, but he's continuing to move forward. And actually, he's just going to go for an attack. He's not going to try to hold this. He's going to lose a lot of SCVs. Leenock may be in trouble, though. Those Overlords popping out are going to be killed immediately. And that actually puts Leenock in the red. Everything that comes out of that hatchery as well will be completely mowed down by those Marines. Clide smartly pulls back with those Marines, does take out that macro hatchery and a lot of the Zerglings that were popping out of it. And Clide has held back at home, so Leenock could be in some trouble here. He's going to move forward with a lot of Banelings. The siege tanks doing what they can, targeting down those Banelings, and it looks like he will keep at least one siege tank. And now Leenock is in trouble because he doesn't have that many units. And here come the STEM Marines. Leenock trying to use those Zerglings as best as he can, but he just doesn't have enough of them to make it happen. Losing a lot of drones now, going to lose the extractor as well. Clide in a really good position. Leenock just does not have any Banelings. Actually, I take it back. Here comes some Banelings. Some clutch Banelings coming in. And the Zerglings do clean up that siege tank, so Leenock has held that attack. The Spire is done, by the way. Leenock has tons of minerals stacked up. He wanted to stack up as many minerals as he can to get, like, I don't know, say 10 mutas out, 11 mutas out. When the Spire finished, the Spire is done now, and there he goes making those 11 mutas. I think he was trying to decide whether or not that was the best choice. Wanted to see, oh, are you going to attack me again? Because if I make those mutas and you attack me again, I'm dead. Clide is just going to sit back, though. He wanted to get that third command center up. He started that as natural. Getting his natural back up and defended because he did lose a significant amount of SCVs. Well, it kind of lost control of his natural there. Wanted to sit down, calm down, take back control of that natural. Does buy Leenock enough time to get those mutas out. And once the mutas get out, if you're like Clide and you don't have that many siege tanks because you lost a lot of them to Zerglings, you got to be very careful against these mutas. And SCV wanted to see so bad. He was like, I just wanted to see. Took a third base. A little bit of a drop here in the main base of Leenock. Clide going to stim and run forward. The mutas are far away. They're actually harassing Clide in his main base at the same time. But the drone's actually going to run away. Could have maybe taken out those Marines on their own, but they decide not to. And here comes the Banelings and the Marines. And meanwhile, you guys didn't really get a shot of it. Leenock tried to do some harassment. Didn't really lose any mutas. Killed a supply depot. Did some damage to some barracks. Tried to get some add-ons. Didn't quite work out for him. That dropship is just hanging out in the main. He may actually drop one of those Marines one by one on top of the Banelings. Sometimes you can even kill 2 Banelings like that with 1 Marine. But the muta is here. That means that dropship. It's not long for this world. You should at least do something with it. Ah, that dropship makes me sick. It's a lazy dropship. Dropship could have done so much more for his country, for the Terrans, for the commander Clide. Didn't do it. Just died to mutas. Now, Clide is going to make actually he's going to make an orbital command rather than a planetary here at the gold base. That is bold. That's kind of like saying, well, I think I'm so far ahead I can do this. Pretty risky move, though, and here come the mutas now, going to try to snipe that missile turret. Whoa, that was like the craziest starter step micro I've ever seen, ever. That's how crazy it was. Now, Leenock does have that third base. He's just now transferring his drones there. Trying to use that a little bit as a production facility for getting more mutas out, though, initially. Now he's going to start mining from it. So what you got to do with Leenock, showing us how to play Zerg versus Terran. Get out on the map, get mobile. Even if your opponent's ahead in supply, try to find out where he is, know where he is at every turn, and engage him in the best way possible every time. That's what Leenock does, and that's what you got to do. But Clide is doing a very smart StarCraft 1-esque siege push, even moving the missile turrets forward. Now his gold base is relatively undefended, but there's nothing really that Leenock can do about it. If he moves out to attack that, he's not going to have his forces in the right spot to deal with the aggression that Clide's putting on. And I started talking a little bit different because Clide stopped putting on that aggression kind of suddenly. Does lose that missile turret. It's like, if you go anywhere and you don't babysit your stuff, Leenock's going to find you, he's going to kill you. Now here comes Clide down here. He's going to take out that queen. There are a lot of Banelings here. They do have speed, of course. And they're just going to kind of wait here for a second, though. Thought we were going to have an attack, and here they come. He wants to try to surround those Marines with the Zerglings, but they're positioned too well, and I think Clide may have kind of gotten Leenock into a position where he just doesn't want to attack here. He just doesn't have enough quite yet. He may be able to snipe that hatchery. Leenock going to try to get some of these tanks using those mutas correctly. Trying to find the weak and open spots. Look at that, picking off some of the Marines where they were in weak. They were alone in a weak. I can't even talk. There's so many things going on. Nice. Tries to use some Baneling mines, but Clide is too smart for that. Whoa. All right. Right now, I'll give you guys some numbers. 55 drones to 64 SCVs. Remember that Clide has the gold base and 2 less siege tanks after those mutas attacked. Also, well, hold that thought because here comes some more Zerglings in. The mutas chasing everything down, trying to do the best splits he can, but Leenock just has so much stuff. Leenock showing he may have a little bit better macro than Clide here, and oh, that Baneling should not have hit, but Clide was not paying attention. Look at this, there's just so many mutas that he wants to pull back to defend against the Banelings. Oh, some Banelings blowing up on a tank. That's not what you want to do. You may be saying, well, why, for the nubs out there, why are those mutas running away from those Marines? Well, he doesn't know how many Marines are behind the wall. He doesn't know, you know, if there are more missile turrets going up. Doesn't want to lose those Mutalisks unnecessarily because, well, they're expensive. You know, we've seen some pro Zerg players, some North American players recently, you know, be so afraid of Marines that they leave games. I've heard about that happening. Sometimes I watch it live late in the night. Now here come the Mutas. They're coming late in the night, and they're out for SCVs and missile darts. And oh no, Clide stacked all of his SCVs on top of each other. Mutalists do a little bit of splash damage with their glaive worms. You do not want to have your SCVs stacked on top of each other when that happens. While those Mutas taking, or rather SCVs taking some serious damage. Muta is taking some damage as well. But he does manage to get out with most of them alive. There are 26 Mutas out on the map, by the way. Supply-wise, 150 supply for Leenock to 125 of Clide. Now, Leenock is just now taking a 4th base. And I like this. This is a style of Zerg that you see from players like July Zerg. You don't really see them from Idra. You don't really see it from Nestea. It's a style where you're just constantly aggressive and then you expand, because that way you kind of keep your opponent on the back foot. He's kind of nervous, doesn't really want to push out, and at the same time, you can take your base eventually safely because you have so many units that you can hold those bases. You don't just kind of take risky bases and hope that things work out. I know some Zerg players like to do that, but that's not how you do it. This is how you do it. Clide moving forward. And look at this, though. Leenock's base has been spotted. It looks like he will be able to save it with these Mutas. Base has taken a lot of damage, though. So if Clide sends in another drop or a squad of units, he should be able to snipe it. There comes a speedling and counterattack, and this is why sometimes planetaries are better, at least in my opinion. And nice, cleans up some of those tanks. Leenock is everywhere at once. He's going to even attack a command center that's not even doing anything right now, and Clide can't even react in time. He's going to lose that command center. I can't even believe it. Oh, no, he's not going to lose it. Believe it. All right, so here come these Zerglings, picking off tanks where they can, cleaning up so many reinforcing units of Clide. Clide having his forces split up in so many different places to try to deal with Leenock being everywhere at once. And that command center is actually burning down very quickly. Does repair it just in time. Look at those. Well, you guys can't see. I can see on my preview screen. All those Marines are on very low hit points. They stimmed so many times. There aren't that many medevacs out, and the medevacs that are out are low on energy. So I gotta say, Clide's looking like he's in rough shape right now. 182 supply to 135 supply, and Leenock, he's just using 3 mining bases right now. And Clide has 3 mining bases, one of them a gold base. And still, Leenock's able, just with his great control and his map presence, is able to beat a Terran even in bases with him, and one of those bases being the gold. And Leenock is genius. There's some Baneling landmines set up over there on the other side of the Zelnaga Watchtower. Look at this, Leenock just has so many Mutas. He's going for it, and sometimes when you do this, it works out for you. Does get a little indecisive. He wants to find some siege tanks to pick off. Oh, he's going to bait these Marines into the Baneling landmines. Or not. It's not going to happen. It was going to happen. Still trying to bait those Marines in. Clide's too smart, though. Oh! Whoa! Making all these noises. Same noise as Leenock is, I'm sure, making this booth right now. Whew! Leenock. He's been everywhere at once. He's been awesome. Solo casting is difficult, guys. I appreciate all the support you guys have given me for the casts I did before, and I'm sure I'm going to get some support from you guys for what I've done today. It's tiring. Man, Leenock, he's tiring me out. How do you think Clide feels right now? Little drop over there, going to try to snipe what's left of that hatchery. Leenock just has so many Mutas that he is cleaning up Marines with Mutas, and when that's happening, you know something has gone bad wrong for the Terran. He has +2 on those Mutas, and Clide does have +1 armor, but now the Thor is out. He needed that Thor. He's been needing that Thor for so long. Yeah, that Thor is not going to step on Baneling landmines. If that Thor steps on Baneling landmines, he's going to be like, I think something just touched my toe. Look at the creep spread from Leenock. It's starting to get so far that you can't spread it anymore because Clide has missile turrets at his base. This is some nice action here. Clide's actually going to drop at one location and try to snipe the hatchery at the other. So that's a small victory for Clide, forcing the cancel on that hatchery. In fact, Leenock didn't even cancel that. Trying to snipe the other hatchery was not as successful, though, in that endeavor. So 2 mining bases to 2 mining bases. Although Clide's mining base is starting to get mined out pretty fast because of those mules. His gold base, he's got a total of about 1,000 minerals left at that base. And when that runs out, what's he going to do? Oh, the Baneling landmines! Oh! He could have killed so many more Marines. The problem is, Clide doesn't have that many more Marines. And here come those Mutas now trying to pick off missile turrets. Leenock just being so aggressive with his Mutas, he can afford to lose them because he has so much economy right now. He's basically maxed. running in here, killing all the SCVs. The Banelings running in, killing what's left of the SCVs, but the Mutas did their part so well. There's hardly any SCVs left. Does save that command center. Look at that scary Leenock army. There are Thors coming, there are Marines coming, but I don't think that Clide has enough. He's not really mining at all right now. He's got like 2 mineral patches left that have 40 minerals as natural. He's not mining at the gold, which has barely any minerals left. This command center will fall. Look at so many Banelings rolling forward. The command center does fall. Leenock taking a lot of hits on those Mutas from the Thor, but just not enough to kill any of them. Look at all the extra stims Clide is using as well. He doesn't even have medevacs to be going out there to stim like that. He's got a few medevacs, but they're so low on energy. I know you guys can't see it because they're not selected, but most of those Marines very low on hit points. And look at this. Leenock's just like, your army's over there, well, I'm going to be somewhere else. He's been doing that all game, all series. Scans does see those burrowed Banelings. That was pretty smart. Leenock trying to bait him up there. But he's going to lose his main command center, and that will put Clide at no command centers. In fact, he's going to be revealed here pretty soon. Look at all the action here. Leenock just tearing this apart. There's so many Banelings in here as landmines. It's the best way to use them. He knows he can't actually kill those Marines straight up with those Banelings, so he's going to use them as landmines. Clide has not rebuilt his base, and he is being revealed. That's how far behind Clide is. He does have a relatively scary army, but I mean, well, actually, relatively, it's not relatively scary. Relative to what's going on here, not scary at all. In certain situations, would be scary. Look at that. Leenock got so many Baneling series, and he need to scan. Ooh, he's not going to scan. Oh, he's doing it on purpose. Oh, Clide. It's like the defeat ceremony that players have been doing here recently. All right, that's it, Clide. You played well, but Leenock, he took you out, man. GG. Leenock showing him peace, giving him 2 fingers. It's like, peace, Clide, you're out of here. Clide not looking very happy with those results. I gotta say he was ahead in both games for a time, but he just couldn't deal with Leenock, man. Leenock was everywhere. Oh, shot at me right now. Well, guys, thanks for watching. I'm Wolf. I'm FXO Wolf on Twitter. GomTV is GomTV on Twitter. Every time I mention my Twitter, I gotta mention that Twitter as well, because it's more important than mine. But thanks for tuning in, guys. We're gonna have an interview here in just a second. Now, Leenock, he is all over the place. I can't stress to you guys enough. His Zerglings are all over the map. He's the Swarm. That is the Swarm. That is Zerg. That's how Zerg is meant to be played. Pick off tanks here and there. Pick off Marines here and there. That's how it's done. Some you guys right behind me. I'm sure they're happy with how that went out. Whew. It's an intense game. And casting alone, it's pretty intense. I gotta say, last time it was a little bit easier for me for some reason, but today it's just like so many exciting things are happening all over the place. I just can't even contain myself. So hopefully I can make it through the night. But thanks to all the fans who tune into the GSL and who support me. Really appreciate that. Also, all the feedback I've been given. Sorry I don't reply to everyone on Twitter. There's just so many messages I get. I feel bad when I reply to someone because I'm like, someone else is going to be like, well, you didn't reply to me. So, but I do appreciate all the feedback and all the user questions. But we are going to have that interview right now.
진출에 안착했습니다. 포유팀의 저그 자존심 이동영 선수 만나보겠습니다. 안녕하세요.
안녕하세요.
네, 오늘 경기 승리 축하드립니다. 소감 한 말씀 부탁드릴게요.
일단 지금까지 팀원이 전부 다 이기고 있는데 그리고 저도 이겨서 내 기분 좋은 것 같아요.
네, 방금 말씀해주신 것처럼 포유팀의 분위기가 굉장히
He's happy that OU is doing so well in this tournament.
있는 것 같으신가요? 네.
원래 연습 때는 다 되게 잘했는데 방송 때 좀 실력이 안 나온 것 같은데 요즘 좀 방송에서도 좀 잘해지고 있는 것 같아요.
네, 사실 테란전이 그렇게 좋지 못했어요, 승률이. 물론 경기는 굉장히 재밌는 경기를 많이
He said he's done well in practice, but
슈퍼토너먼트를
he doesn't have a lot of tournament results.
테란전에서 아주 발군의 실력을 좀 뽐내고 계십니다.
But he thinks he's improving
연습하시는
significantly because of his
과정에서나
practice.
전략 연구라든가 특별한 이유가 있으신가요?
일단 저희 팀 테란들이 되게 잘하는데 저희 팀 테란들이 굉장히 잘하는데 이렇게 굉장히 잘하는 사람들이랑 연습하다가 이렇게 방송 나와서 하니까 좀 더 많이 쉽게 느껴지는 것 같아요.
네.
There are a lot of good Terrans in FOU,
고병재
and they really helped him
파이팅이란
practice
챔플이
this
있었습니다.
matchup.
네, 제가 무슨 말씀을 드릴 건지 대충 예상을 하고 계실 것 같은데
네.
그 평가에 대해서 어떻게 좀 생각을 하십니까? 본인이 더
How do you
잘생겼던
feel about
것
people
같아요.
saying you look like Gumiho Foyu?
네.
그냥 좀 그런 건 아닌데.
네. 기분이 좋으신가요, 그러면? 네, 그 정도만 물어보도록
네.
하겠습니다. 그리고 마지막으로 팬분들께 한 말씀 부탁드릴게요.
He doesn't have anything to say about that.
이후로 다시 방송에서 좀 재밌는 경기랑 좋은 경기 보여드리도록 하겠습니다. 감사합니다.
네, 오늘 승리 축하드립니다. 이동영 선수 만나봤습니다.
He said he wants to show some good games in the upcoming rounds. So today, well, look at me. I'm here alone, but I've got so many people in the background of this camera. I feel like I'm not alone. I can look over here at the screen and I'm seeing all these people behind me. Because the crowd is huge today. I know you guys can't see all of it, but you can see like the crowd is extended beyond, so you can like see it behind me now. Because there's so many people here today. It's pretty big. All right, well, I think we're gonna have a 2-minute break here in just a second. And up next, we've got Byun versus Alicia. I wasn't sure if that was last, but it's next. Pretty exciting. I'm pretty excited for that match. I am Wolf, and we're here at the GSL. By the way, thanks to Intel, G-Skill, and LG for sponsoring this tournament. Without them, this tournament would not be possible. But here's the break now. I'll see you guys when I get back. Enjoy your break.
She hasn't been the same.